So, again, my name is Cesar Rivas. I am the sales executive for Sound POS, part of Sound Payments. Thank you again for joining me today. Just for those of you who have not been on this workshop in the past, it's a 30-minute workshop, last Wednesday of every month, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And the idea is that the first 15 minutes of the workshop that I talk to you about some new features of our Sound POS equipment. And then the second half is really kind of a sales pitch. All right. So if you've seen these workshops before, you know that really the first 15 minutes is where you want to focus on, and that the last 15 minutes you can pretty much just skip if you've already seen it. If you have not seen any of these workshops in the past, they are on our YouTube channel. Just go to Sound Payments on YouTube and you'll be able to see. We've been doing these since last year. I think May was the first one that we did last year. I've been doing them every month. And again, the idea is I'll go over some features. I'll change the type of merchant, and I'll also maybe bring up any new features that that we're launching. Like last month, we talked about the tobacco reporting, for example, and we talked about the lottery pay in and pay out. Okay. So this month we're going to be talking about adding quick inventory items to the system. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my store. Okay. If you're familiar with Sound Payments, you know that each merchant is assigned a store. Okay. I just want to show you on the store here how you would actually add the items first on the store. Before I actually show you how you add the items on the terminal itself, on the POS terminal itself, in a quick manner. With inventory, you can add inventory in various ways, but we've had some customers that that sometimes need to be able to add items on the spot. Okay, whether to the inventory or anything else. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and give me 1 second while I open this up here. Okay, we're gonna go check out my store, which is 1 second here while my terminal opens up. And we're going to be working with this meat packer store. Okay. Unfortunately, with what I'd mentioned before about not being able to connect, I wasn't able to update my terminal to the store that I wanted to do today, which was really a store, a nursery for plants. All right. So as I said before, there's several ways you can add inventory. This is the main one. I would say, you go to products, you can add the product here. You can also import product over here. Okay. Or we're going to go ahead and take a look at the terminal itself. Okay. And let me go ahead and log in here and share the screen with you. What we're going to do here is I'm going to share the screen so you can see there's also a way to add inventory on the terminal itself. So again, just so while this loads and looking at the way that you do it on the store, you can add a new item here. Just go to add new, or you can import a template. We have an Excel template that you can utilize to import. Okay. So let me go ahead and accept, zoom out, and then share the screen with you. I'm doing this on an A920, which is a handheld unit. It's kind of a small screen. Okay. Here we go. And see Air Viewer. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit just so you can see it clearer. All right. So go ahead and screen to pop up. Wait 1 second. Okay, come on. Again, my apologies. I am out of the country. There we go. I am out of the country, so sometimes the connection can be a little bit slow. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. So I'm going to zoom in. It's going to look a little bit blurry, but trust me, the device looks perfectly clear. Okay. All right. Go ahead and log in here. So you can also add inventory here. If you go to the inventory function on here, okay, and you go to products, you'll be able to add your inventory here manually. No problem. Okay. But the feature that I want to highlight today is the ability to add inventory on the spot. And you can do this while you're on the sales screen. Okay, we go to sales here and open up. And you actually want to add something. You can click on inventory here and then add it very quickly. Okay, same thing you could do. I mean, the only field really that's required is the name of the item. Okay, you can add it right here, test item. Okay, you can choose a category if you want, or you can leave it all. All right, or you can choose none. Okay, and then of course, you add the product quickly, just click on here. Okay, you choose whatever tax, whatever you charge. If you want to go ahead and put on there as well, you know, what it costs, you can do that here, but nothing else is really required on here. As soon as you click on submit, now you've got a new item, right? That's called inventory. Okay, and you can go ahead and close it out. That's called test here under the choice category. So that's a way to add an item that's not already in the inventory, that has not been inputted through the store portal or through the template or through the actual product item that's on their inventory function, and you would be able to add it there. Okay. The other feature that I wanted to talk about today, and it has to do a little bit about inventory as well, is adding a picture to the items. Now, just want to highlight that, and you can see the pictures here. All right. Just want to highlight that this is a picture that you're going to add, not for the purpose of the customer seeing the picture, because the customer is not seeing the actual screen of the POS. They're seeing the payment screen for the payment terminal that's attached to the POS or a detached pin pad. This is something so that the employee will be able to differentiate a little bit better. Okay. Now, as far as, you know, adding the picture, you got to make sure that, you know, that the size is within 1 megabyte. And also the actual pixel size, I believe, is like 350 by 450. All right. So you're going to get, when you add a picture, if you do have a picture with high resolution that's not acceptable, it'll give you that information. It'll tell you, hey, you have to reduce it to this size in terms of how many megabytes, or this size in terms of how many pixels. All right. And once you add the picture, then again, you'll be able to see it. You can see it here on the terminal. You got some pictures. And as I said, it's only as a reference for the actual store user. All right, for adding that picture. Also want to talk a little bit today about giving discounts. So you can give discounts in various ways, but today I'm going to focus on giving discounts for single items. All right, so let's say you're ordering several things. I'm going to order going in 2 pounds of this here, 2 pounds, okay, of this beef ribs. I'm going to order bone in 3 pounds of this other cut, which would be the chuck. All right. And now if I go to the actual purchase cart, okay, the sales cart, and I want to give a discount only on one item, all you got to do is just slide this item to the right, put percentage, and you'll be able to apply any percentage just to that one item. Okay. So again, the idea here is that, you know, I show you how to do a discount on a single item. Now, you can also do other discounts, right? If you want to discount the whole order, you just look for discount up here, okay, and you press whatever discount amount you want, but this is going to apply to the whole order. And you can even do a % discount, or you can even do cash discount, so an exact dollar amount. All right. But again, that would apply to the whole purchase on the cart. And if you've done a discount to an individual item, it is going to apply there as well. Okay. Now we've got several ways in which you can do discounts, and I'm going to avoid this one here. We've got several ways in which you can do discounts besides the way that you just saw. Okay. If you go to the maintenance function here, you can do your regular special pricing discount, which is, you can have three ways in which you can do a discount. Okay. Your regular sales, and you can choose which items, which start at a specific date and time and end at a specific date and time. Okay. And you can do an actual dollar amount or percentage off. You've got your bulk pricing 2 for 1, and you've got your time-based pricing, which is like your regular weekly type of sale. That's one item or one function that you can use to also discount, besides what I've just showed you doing the sales function. And then the second way that you can do a discount is called price level. And this is where you create a discount for a specific group, like let's say veterans or something like that. Now, in order for this to be applicable, remember, you need to have a customer registered under your customer database. And if they're not registered, you can actually register them very quickly, very easily while they're being rung up. Okay. And then apply whatever that group discount is. So if you go on here and you don't have a customer says, hey, I'm a veteran, oh, your first time here, you just click on that customer button here. Okay, let me go ahead and add you very quickly. It only really requires your first name. You click on add customer quickly. And I know you've got an asterisk on the first and last name, but as soon as you put in, the first name, Tim, then this asterisk goes away for the last name because it requires one or the other really. And then you can submit that and hit. This is where you would apply that special discount, like for veterans and things like that. Now, I don't have any price level discounts right now created for this store, but this is where you would do it. But again, the focus here is how to do a discount for a single item, and I just showed you how to do that before. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the second half of the call, which is again a little bit of a background on our company and kind of a quick sales pitch. All right. So Sound Payments, if you're not familiar with us, we're out of Jacksonville, Florida. We are not, now emphasize this, we are not a processor, gateway, or ISO. We only develop the actual payment solutions for the payment industry. And the idea is that, we can develop something that's innovative, that provides value, but at a reasonable cost. We also have offices, besides our headquarters in Jacksonville, we also have offices in Tampa or St. Pete, right outside of Tampa. And we have a couple of offices outside of the U.S. where we have some of our developers. Right now, we work primarily with PACS as far as hardware, but we have worked with other technology partners like CDE. All right. These are the main features that I talk about. It is our Sound POS. It is cloud-based, and it is fully customizable. So it has certain advantages. Starts with inventory. Just showed you how you can actually add items. Then you can keep track of inventory various ways as well, by the actual item, by an attribute like a size or a color. You can even create a matrix, or by a modifier, which could be an ingredient, for example. All right. You can also upload the inventory, as I said before, utilizing the template, the Excel template that we have. It also allows you to customize the level of access you want for your employees at a very detailed level. And it does keep track of the hours worked. So there's a time clock feature there. You can export then in Excel and be able to, send off to whatever payment processor company or software you utilize as well. It's got the customer feature that I mentioned earlier, where you can store the customer's personal information. No payment information is stored there. But this customer's features also has two functions that are built in. Our system is able to provide store credit to the customers if the merchant wishes, and they can, do it, customize it per customer as far as the limit and the form of payment. And they can also, we also offer a loyalty program based on points. Now, full disclosure, guys, we don't, our loyalty program or feature on the POS does not communicate with customers directly as far as emailing, but you can export in Excel and then do a mail merge if you want. But what it does do is you're able to manually add or subtract points for customers if you'd like. Sales tax is assigned at an individual product level, and it can actually have as many sales tax categories as you want. And then because it's cloud-based, it's constantly synchronizing. The advantage there, of course, is if you got multiple terminals, they'll talk to each other. And if the terminal were to go down, then thankfully it's very easy to replace because everything's stored in the cloud. Now, the items are stored also locally. So if you don't have connectivity, you are actually able to do stuff on the terminal, with the exception of running payment, of course, because you need to be online to do that. Because it's cloud-based, we provide a web portal. Now, there's a reseller web portal and there's an actual store web portal for the merchant. And in this web portal, you're going to find a range of reports as well as another different set of reports on the item itself. Okay. And we've got, as I said, PAX hardware. We've got, countertop and also handheld units. All right. We are processor agnostic, which means that we can work with, almost any processor that's out there. It does provide you with the ability to do real-time monitoring of your devices and transactions. And you can even add new services without impacting the actual terminal. All right. One thing about that, though, is we don't do automatic updates for our new releases of software and firmware. And the reason for that is that some of our resellers prefer to first test and become familiar with any new features that have been added before they roll it out. But it's very easy to actually roll out in groups. And since we work with PAX, the software is installed through their website, and PAX offers you some free classes on how to create groups. So it's very easy to update their firmware. They actually don't do automatic updates either. Just to show you on here, On the left-hand side, you've got the actual terminal screens for the POS. You probably saw this one before for the handheld one, which the orientation is a little different. It's a portrait. And then this is for the countertop ones, which is a landscape. But they both have the same functionality. As far as the store portal, we have here the view that you would have on a computer. And a store portal is not app-based. It's actually browser-based. So you can view it on a computer, a tablet, or even a smartphone. Here you have a view of the actual smartphone view of the store, okay? And it's got all the functionalities that you have on the computer, because again, it's just a browser-based version, all right? All of our terminals that we use now, they do have battery life. The countertop ones is really more of a battery backup, okay? The handheld one does have, like 24-hour standby and 2 hours of full functionality. For the countertop ones, you can connect, your cash drawer, your scanners. You're actually able to add some peripherals there. And all the units can connect via Wi-Fi, also SIM cards. And then the countertop units, you can actually do Ethernet, of course. And on the countertop units, you actually have dual terminal screens. So the devices, if we go back real quick to one of the devices, which is the E700, this is your screen where the employee will see or ring up the order. And here you've got an attached payment terminal where the customer will see what's being rung up. Now, if you do have a setting where you don't want this to be set up this way because maybe you have a barrier, you can actually assign a detached pin pad, the Aris 8 or the 835, and it'll work just fine. All right. It's, as I said before, it's very flexible in terms of customizing the device and the POS. And for that, it is flexible as far as what industries it can work with. Now, I'd say the only limit is in the food industry, full service restaurants and bars. We're working to continue to add features because we are the developing company. We're continuing to add features. We always like to listen to suggestions that you may have. And this way, we'll make sure that we're adding features that have a demand out there as far as what you're hearing from your merchants and what you communicate with us. But it does work with other food service industry merchants. For example, food trucks is great because it can keep track of inventory even by, as I said before, by the ingredients of the food, okay? It works great also with storefront stuff like a butcher, ice cream parlor, and so forth, all right? And we're in the process of integrating scales as well. As far as retail, whatever, it's very broad. And sometimes, I've heard some concerns about, hey, how many items can you add on there? Well, look, we've got, a couple of beauty supply stores that have like 27,000 different types of items. And then, of course, each type has whatever number of they have in stock. Works great with grocery stores as well. Even, as I said before, because you can use or you can detach the pin pad if you want to kind of set up similar to the cash lanes where you have, the POS in front of the person who runs the register, and then the payment terminal or the pin pad separate. We can also set that up, and we've got a broad range of different kinds of retailers that we work with. All right, great support. For a merchant, we've got 24/7 support. For you, the reseller, we've got a website called Sound Hub, where it's kind of your one-stop shop. You've got articles, you got user guides that you can share with your customer. You got some videos for sales, for training, and so forth. All right. We provide app and firmware updates, of course. Also, I'd say one of the advantages that we offer is the sales support. Okay, because I'll do the presentations to you so you can become familiar. But if you have a merchant and you want to do a presentation for them, I can do it as well, as long as one of you is on the line, so that if there's any pricing discussion, that you can go ahead and address that. Now, if you even give me enough time and you tell me what kind of store it is and even provide me with a logo, I can personalize the presentation so that the prospect will actually feel like, wow, you've already uploaded, my store on here. Okay, we've got advanced level support for you, the reseller, and of course, if anybody on the give me 1 second, I'll respond to questions in a second here. If you do have somebody who needs to be elevated, our first level support will go ahead and do that automatically. And by the way, our merchant support is here in the U.S. is out of Tampa, and we've got a very, very experienced implementation team. All right, so let me go ahead and respond to questions here. Okay. What's the price range for Sound POS? Well, the actual SaaS, the software itself is $19.99 a month per terminal. Okay. And there is one feature that we added that's for an additional price, which is the tobacco reporting. And this is the price that we provide you, the reseller. Again, we don't really have any contact with the merchants because we don't do any processing. Everything is done through you. Charles, I apologize. Can you hear me now? Please go ahead and let me know if you can. I apologize. I've got a strong signal here. I thought I didn't have any problems here. Well, just to finish responding to that question, so we added this feature, which is an optional one, which is tobacco reporting, which is for filling out the rebates and so forth. Okay. Any other questions, please? And again, if you can't hear me, can you please type in and let me know? I really apologize. We are going to post this on our YouTube channel anyway, so you can view it after the session. All right. All right. Well, listen again. I don't see any other questions. If you have any, any questions, you've got my email address right here, Cesar.r@soundpayments.com. You can go to our website and check out what we got on there. And as I said previously, I'm here to support you as far as sales, train you to do the sale, but also have the ability to do a demo for your customers. Right. So with that, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. And I apologize again for the couple of minutes delay at the beginning of the session. And hopefully we'll talk to you next month. Thank you.